Click Stuff is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafe.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Click Stuff today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. I just want to take a moment to remind everybody, Click Stuff is brought to you by trollandtoad.com. Check out trollandtoad.com for all of your singles needs, HeroClix singles needs, and also use coupon code ClickStuff for 5% off all of your HeroClix purchases. And also, if you enjoy what we do, consider supporting us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/clickstuff. Everybody that signs up at the $5 and above level gets entry, special preview, or I guess early and live participation in our monthly HeroClix classes. We just did the barrier class this weekend. And share that with our Patreons. They're deciding when that's going to be made public. And then we're going to be posting this upcoming week, probably tomorrow when this podcast comes out. We're recording on Sunday, probably come out 4/22. We'll be announcing our next month's class and all of our giveaways. We give away whatever kind of prizing we can get our hands on every month. Pretty good stuff for everyone that signs up at $1 and above. So with all of that being said, Jason Alvey joins me today. What's up, Jason?
I'm doing great. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody had a great Easter Sunday.
Yeah. So we are going to talk about Rebirth. Kind of in our way of doing things, we like to talk about the set after it's right before it kind of becomes legal for competitive play. There weren't any big events this weekend. Talk about the set right before it becomes legal for competitive play, after we've had some time to play some sealed and pre-release with it and get some really good thoughts behind the set going into its run in Modern. So,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had more time to play with it so far.
Yeah, it seems really good so far. We'll do our, you know what, I don't know, Jason, we can do our standard format and talk about kind of our favorite common and our favorite competitive piece and favorite casual piece, but some of these categories have just multiple things.
Yeah, we can talk about all that stuff.
So, the first thing, let's just jump in. Let's just start talking about the commons.
All right.
So I think the first thing I would talk about would be all of the Titans work really well together in the set.
Yeah, they do play good as a group.
They do play well as a group, and that's more of a casual sort of thing than it is a competitive sort of thing.
Yeah, and I usually hate the Teen Titans stuff, but the sets that come out with the Teen Titans stuff. But this one, actually, I like them.
Well, I think, and as far as like competitive goes, right? Like we got the X-Men set. It's been a little bit over a year since Xavier's School came out, and the Titans are kind of like the X-Men, right? They're at least as far as like the students go and that sort of thing. And like the students are the Teen Titans, and they're just not as good as the ex-students.
No.
And I don't know. That's just my issue with them competitively. And then
I wouldn't say they're all good.
Certainly, there's no DC headmasters either.
Yeah, right.
So.
Nothing anywhere near that good.
Yeah. But they do work really well together for casual stuff.
Yeah, they do. And some of them are actually good.
Yeah.
Just for competitive as well.
Yeah, and we'll talk about those. I think the first one I want to talk about in general, and if there's one before this one, you go ahead and tell me. But I want to start out with 010 Nightwing.
No, that's fine. I got something else, so yeah.
All right, yeah, 010 Nightwing. I think he really shines at his 75-point dial. He's got that pick-up power, damage power. I think my only complaint with him is he's got stealth from Batman Family, and he's got energy shield deflection.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind that they pair those two things together.
He's had that a lot though in a lot of figures.
Yeah, and I don't even know why he would have energy shield. I get that HeroClix's a game of strategy, not logic, but why would Nightwing have energy shield deflection?
Because he's hard to hit when you throw stuff at him.
I guess. That seems more like super senses than energy shield deflection.
I would have been okay with a special power that gave him combat reflexes and energy shield deflection.
Yeah, I guess. But that's really my only complaint with him. And at least he ignores elevated and hindering, which I believe that everyone in the Batman family should be able to do. Because we've had Batmans that are stopped by bushes before, and I'm pretty sure there's no Batman that's stopped by a bush. That's his sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely not.
But no, I've just loved playing with this guy in Sealed, and I'd probably play him on a Teen Titans team or even a Batman family team for that leadership. And then just being able to, beginning of turn, choose Outwit and then running shot.
Oh, yeah.
Running shot, incap something, or deal damage, and then be within range to outwit them. Have somebody else follow up. If only he had that leading the charge trait too that some of these pieces have, that gives him +1 attack or whatever.
Yeah, that'd been nice. 11 attack's not horrible starting out though.
No, and he goes from 11 to 11, so he stays at 11 at 75. I kind of thoroughly enjoy him at 75 points for casual.
Yeah, I just wish he had willpower.
Yeah, I get it. But it's one of those things I don't even think of that as a detriment because he goes up in defense value. So
True, he does.
And then even so, if you push him a third time, he still maintains a good defense and only goes down in attack and damage, really. So he's definitely got a very pushable top dial to first 3 clicks. So who'd you want to talk about first, Jason?
I think the best of the common pieces, in my opinion, which is Prez Rickard.
Oh, you were jumping ahead. I was going down the set.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. That was 014, so...
Yeah, number 014.
Yeah, I was just going to go down kind of the list in numerical value.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to do that, we can go back. I'd go to the 11B, the Signal.
We got to preview the Signal. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think he is, really good team player.
Yeah.
For Batman Family, Gotham City... a martial artist even. I have no complaints about this guy as a common prime for those teams. I don't even know is there even another prime with those keywords that's relatively modern? I'm sure there's, from the Batman set, there's probably plenty of Batman Family primes.
Probably.
I'm just gonna take a look real quick.
But I think if this guy is a decent attacker with hypersonic and prob and precision strike at 60 points, and then if you think stealth is going to be an issue, this guy is your answer.
Yeah, So let's see. Let's rank him real quickly. So we've got from the Batman animated series, we've got the Killer Croc, or Batman, the Rare Prime. So that was Batman masquerading as
Killer Croc.
And then we got the Hardak Batman. And then we've got Night Lantern. And then we go all the way to the Batman set for the what is that? The the Rare Prime Bruce Wayne. Hush Batman, yeah. And then the Caped Crusader, that was the Super Rare Prime. I don't know. I think for my money, if I'm playing a Batman family team, I like the Prime Signal.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the best of those. Mm-hmm. He has a good point value. He's very useful. Mm-hmm. He's a good secondary attacker or third string attacker.
Well, I don't even think I would call him third. I'd call him second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... And the fact that the bat shift or whatever, you can turn it on and off. So, really good team player there. I dig it. Prez Rickard. What were we going to talk about Prez? We'll move on to him.
I mean, how good is the leadership power on this guy? Yeah.
50-50 leadership, right?
50-50 leadership. He can take tokens off friendly guys within 6 for each one he removes off of opposing characters. Mm-hmm. So, and then he pushes into Perplex on click 2. Just cause. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, he doesn't ruin theme teams.
Yeah, he doesn't ruin theme teams. And he's 35 points. On top of all that, he has an 18 defend.
Yeah.
So sure, that's not as good as like a 19 or 20 defend. No doubt.
But it's still pretty solid.
But you talk about things like Giant Girls. They start out with a 17 combat reflexes, the main set one.
Yep.
Now they're a 20 up close. That it changes. It positively helps a lot of math for things that are normally considered squishy targets. Mm-hmm. I'm really thinking about Colossal Retaliators, right? Like now Carnage. Right. Now Carnage is an 18.
18. It's a lot more threatening than a 16 defense.
Yeah. Makes you think twice about it.
Yeah.
Or even something like a Flora Colossus, right, which are apt to body block him with Floras. When they start healing, they're now up to 18s instead of 17s. And there's probably some there is charts out there with the math on what that makes. But I mean, every percentage is a percentage,
Yeah. And at first you think about, well, you don't want to pull tokens off of your opponent's characters, but the benefits for your team just outweigh that a lot of the time.
Right, and especially with Pogs and, retaliators that are just moving and are being used to pack things.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that he doesn't have to be adjacent.
Right. Yeah.
To take off stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can remove, if you remove multiples, right? You can remove, if I remove 2 off your guy, I can remove, if I can remove 1 single from each of your guys, I can remove 2 from my own guy.
Yeah.
Now, you have to be within 6 squares of Prez Rickard, but it's not within line of fire or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a 6 square bubble is a pretty good range for that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people poo-pooed on this when they first showed it because it was the character, but man, it's great.
Those people were wrong.
Totally wrong. So good for you, Jose Rodrigo Rosales Guerrero. You picked a fantastic character.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely picked a fantastic character, and props to the designer for designing that guy.
Yeah, and if he gets on his end dial there, he could just pop you in the chin for like 3 damage.
Right. Yeah. And it's not like there's not plenty of perplex going around.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he just has a dial you can't ignore, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely a meta piece.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean I think Prez fits on like, you know, there's just teams that need the leadership. Like you know, the Gotham City team. I think that's a big one before retirement, like the Green Arrow team.
Oh yeah.
That was the first one that popped in my head, and like, you know, even like Avengers. Like Avengers has Old Man Cap,
right?
Which is not bad, but you're saving 15 points. So Old Man, you know, has his uses, and there's no doubt that Old Man is not going to go away. But you know, even but like Scientist, that's another one that comes to mind, or Robots. Lots of those teams don't have leaderships readily available to them. Basically, any keyword that doesn't have Groot, look at the keywords that Groot has, and if it doesn't have it, that team will probably use Prez Rickard. So, yeah, no, I dig this guy. There's no reason to poo-poo on this guy at all.
No, definitely not.
So, my other favorite common was the 016 Superman.
Yeah, if you pull this guy in Seal, play him.
Right. You know, I was talking about this in person. I'm really sad that this is not going to be a set, at least as of right now, that doesn't look like it'll be a set for a competitive. I'm sorry, for a competitive nationals.
Sealed?
Yeah, competitive sealed.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one team would totally just be, you pull 2 Supermans and that guy, you just have your team.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of your teams if you pull 2 common Supermans between your 6 boosters. You know, that's 100%.
Yeah, pretty strong.
A team. Yeah, I was looking to see that booster that I had pulled during that pre-release. Yeah, I was trying to find it. When was about pre-release? Was it the first week of April? Yeah, here it is. So week. Yeah, my sealed pre-release booster, and this was a team that I pulled from. I had Mr. Oz, Common Superman, Nightwing, and Tempest, along with Rose Wilson. And my 400-point team was just that booster minus Rose Wilson. So 2 super great commons, a really good uncommon, and of course the super rare Mr. Oz was great. So, yeah, no, there's just absolutely no downside, I think, to that Superman, other than the perplex and probability control, but only from the... but he can only be targeted with that with the characters of Justice League of China. But still, I mean, that's not that huge a deal.
Well, it keeps your opponent from probbing his attacks and perplexing him down. So,
yeah. So let's move to uncommons.
I think there's some interesting stuff here.
Yeah, there is interesting stuff. The first one though was definitely for me. Going in order, at least, was the Prime Citizen Steel.
Mm-hmm.
We got some good primes in this set. Like I'm not sad about any of those primes. I pulled Citizen Steel and pulled the Signal in mine, and I was not mad. I was not mad at all. So I think the question: would you play this guy at 110 or 35?
I'd probably just play him at 35, but I don't know. I'm not convinced how effective it is at this point.
Yeah, so I think the thing is it's very
positional.
Very positional, very finesse. You have to be careful that you don't get Citizen Steel shot and then let the other guy retell on him. I think his kind of bubble is the corners of the map. You know, so if your piece goes out in attack and comes back, you're going to have to position them in the corner of the map with Citizen Steel kind of a little bit closer out. Now, at 110, he's a lot better, but
he's just too many points.
He's just too many points. We're stealing this good, like, ID card time, and he'll just end up getting his defense power outwitted and shot. Which he can do, but at 35, it's not that big a deal. And he also has the celebrity keyword. So I had typed up an article that was on Majestics, and my example team was actually with the celebrity keyword. And this guy fits in again. I'm going to pull up that piece real quick, because I always mispronounce or misspeak which one it is. It was from the Batman set, Baby Doll. At the beginning of the game, choose a friendly character to become Baby Doll's kindred spirit. Outwit, but only when they're on the same click. Perplex, but when she is on a different click than her kindred spirit. And then she's got 3 through 6 Shape Change and Mastermind. Now, but paired with Citizen Steel, they're not going to be on the same click. So you're guaranteed to give Baby Doll Perplex for 40 points. If she chooses Citizen Steel as her kindred spirit. So, the Giant Girls and Daredevil also have celebrity. So, I don't know. It's just kind of a fun little team, and I like that synergy with these off-dial characters. What I mean by that is off click number, right? Like they start on not click 1.
Right. Yeah, the lower point dials. Yeah.
So, I mean, and the rest of that up until there, I mean, they're just, I don't know, kind of fun.
Yeah. I like the next figure, number 24, Veronica Cale.
All right, what do you like about her?
She's 35 points, and you're getting an outwit and a perplex and a sidestep from her.
Mm-hmm.
And if your opponent has a deity character, which we have a lot of Surters running around, she gets +1 to her stat, so she's going to be an 18 defense. And she can also perplex your own Surter twice.
Mm-hmm.
On 2 different stats. So, I mean, 35 points for outwit perplex, not bad.
Like attack and damage.
Yeah. Or if you had a couple of her, I mean, you got a Surtur bomb coming across the map.
Yeah. Surtur's pretty much always a Surtur bomb, right?
Right. Or you can take somebody like Barbatos, for instance, and pump him up.
Mm-hmm.
Or Flash God of Death and make him pretty scary with a couple of these.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a pretty good little support piece, I think, just to have both of those powers for that cheap.
Yeah.
And then the extra bonus for those deity keyword characters.
Yeah, is there anyone besides Surtur that's deity that's relevant? I'm going to take a look here real quick. It's because it's one of those things, it's one of those keywords you don't really look for, but it might be hiding, in some of the other guys.
Yeah, I've looked at it some. I mean, Flash God of Death is out there. I don't know if you can make something with him or not, but you can pump him up pretty good. And she gains deity keyword during force construction, so you could actually make a deity theme team.
Sure.
But I don't think there's enough characters there to really make a good one.
Yeah, I think the thing is that it's kind of fringy stuff. Like Lord Chaos, Master Order, and the abstracts from AI all have deity. Of course, Surtur, but it was really the only one that was relevant. Mistress Death, still kind of relevant. Mephisto, not so much. Although Paris would love for it to be more so. And then let's see. I mean the new Shazam, but That's about it. And of
Yeah.
course, all the gods were from Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, it might be something later on down the line, but even still, spending 35 points for an Outwit and a Perplex is not a bad deal.
Yeah. So, 026 Billy Batson.
Yeah, how good is this guy, right?
How good is the best mastermind fodder ever? Other than, of course, like 0-point pogs, right?
Right.
So, like, if there's something that can give you protected outwit and mastermind on, like, a mystical, like on Jakeem before he retires, yeah, you just play Billy and Jakeem and this power cosmic granting object, maybe. Like, fingers crossed it's the cosmic cube or gauntlet, and, like, Jakeem gets one more time to shine, maybe.
Perhaps, yeah.
Because Billy's just insane. 20 points, perplex. It goes into, you can't be given free actions if he gets into range. And then the stop click, if you paid 40 for him, he gets to turn into Shazam, which is totally doable if you use him as mastermind fodder.
Yep. And gets you about 3 more clicks.
Yeah.
And a 100-point character to call an ID card.
Yeah. That's just really great. And even so, 20-point perplex is still not. It's still a great thing, right? It's still nothing bad there about a 20-point perplex.
And he can even shut down free actions.
Yeah, I think that's a little too conditional for me to like tout that.
It's just a nice bonus to have, though.
It is, and it's one of our world champ pieces. So, from this was the team one, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So, thanks to Howard and team, sponsors of the show from Lucky Dice Games Cafe, for winning and creating these pieces. So it's pretty freaking sweet.
I got about 9 of these guys now.
Yeah, I went ahead and ordered 4 more of them from eBay just so I could have. I think I've got 9 of them now too. 7 to 9 of them. So it's one of those things like, will I ever likely play 9 Billy Batsons?
Probably not.
Probably not, but I've got them if I need them, and it's just an uncommon. So
yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with spending. I don't know. I think I spent $7 shipped to get 4 more of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's pretty sweet. So, so the other one I've heard talked about next would be Colonel Poison.
Yep.
Soldier and scientist leadership, and she can, I think it's a she, can grant give a friendly character Battle Fury. So
yeah, yes. Once that Joker gas canister is gone, this would be the easy way to give Battle Fury out, right?
Yeah, give Battle Fury out, and she can use poison, and she's protected poison, and penetrating poison even. For 40 points, it's not a terrible investment at all.
No, and it includes in a leadership as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just going to be a good way to give, whoever Battle Fury, Surtur, or Vulture, or whatever. 028 Tempest. I did play Garth here in Sealed, and it has the best version of Smoke Cloud, which is free, but it was water markers, and I pulled off his 5-6 free penetrating damage more often than I should have. It actually KO'd a couple pieces in Sealed for me. I think it's definitely a fun piece. But 75 points, top dial, Perplex for Teen Titans, pretty awesome.
No, yeah, that's a cool power. Yeah, I don't know that I'd see it anything else but fun, or sealed, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Fun or sealed. And can I just say how disappointed I am in the 029 Mr. Terrific?
Why is that?
So he can make a T-Sphere, or move the T-Spheres closer to him. And, he can punch through the T-Spheres. So there's a lot of use there. But let me see here. So the special damage power was perplex, but only to target the character that generated this bystander. That was my problem, is that the T-Spheres could be a triple perplexing machine. But you're pumping up Mr. Terrific, who is not that great.
Yeah, he's not that terrific.
Right. Yeah, so I get that you can get, and the Pogs aren't autonomous either.
Well, that sucks.
At least that's what I'm seeing on Realms. I haven't actually looked at his card, but I'm pretty sure that they're not. Yeah, so that's really the problem that I have with them and there's zero attack. And I know that from the comics and the TV shows and stuff that his T-Spheres don't do anything, then really other than just annoy people, or help Mr. Terrific. But Mr. Terrific, 70 points. He's a good point value to call out stuff, and if he could generate a triple perplexing machine, that'd be pretty cool. But alas, he doesn't, and I'm really disappointed.
I can confirm that his Pogs are autonomous.
They are autonomous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, that helps out then.
Yeah, Realms has it listed incorrectly.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking at that card. Yeah, so that helps.
That helps, but it doesn't make it... that doesn't particularly help.
Yeah, and if he could outwit through them, or they could perplex anybody, then they'd be pretty badass.
Oh yeah, if he could draw lines of fire for outwit through them, so you could generate a T-Sphere and move it for free, and then punch through it and outwit through it. Yeah, that'd be a lot better. But I'm just a little disappointed.
Yeah, even the whole he can target a character with. Within 6 squares, it just makes it... the 6 square limitation just makes it not as good.
Yeah. Let's just be honest. We all wanted Phantom X again.
Yeah, I guess we just asked too much, right?
Yeah, we do. Who was your next one in the Uncommons? Was there anything left in Uncommons you wanted to talk about?
Not really. I think we pretty much covered it there.
Yeah, I think so.
There's some other fun pieces there, but nothing that just jumps out.
So, can we just say, as an entire group of rarity in this set, I will admit that I am overall disappointed with the rares.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
There is some good rares.
Yeah, there are.
So, but overall, as a group, I was a bit disappointed with them. So, which leads us to our first question from Giordano. Do you think Raven will give monster teams a serious boost? Let's just cover Raven first, and then we can back up this couple of the other ones.
Okay.
Do I think that she'll give monster teams a boost? No. Do I think she'll give mystical teams a boost?
Mystical teams?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and it's at 50 points. I don't think it's at 65. There's really, and that's just for ID card purposes, really.
I don't think the extra 15 points is that bad, honestly.
Really? You get one more movement and then super senses?
Yeah, you get 2 extra clicks, plus you can call out 60-point characters.
Yeah, that's only what? That only comes down to what? Chase, Iceman, and Harley?
And Jean.
Okay. Yeah. You convinced me.
It gives her a rollout, which can't be bad. And you have 3 clicks of that special Perplex Prob support power instead of 1.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
all
it's
right.
only 15 points.
Sure.
I mean, it's not always going to be the one that you want to play her at, but I think it's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see it fitting on the monster team.
Not in the current versions we've seen anyway.
Yeah, not in the current versions.
I
think
there's probably a better transporter for monsters now than her in this set anyway.
Is there a better transporter for monsters?
Dawnbreaker.
Oh, that's true. Did he have the Green Lantern team ability?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. But I think that if Raven goes on the monster team, it's more of the Venom verse monsters.
Yeah, I mean she does give them a on dial prob that they didn't have before, but
right. Yeah, I think you're kind of running her out there, or running out Captain Venom. He's attacking first, and then you're calling over the Venomverse and calling over somebody else to attack.
Yeah, I mean I just don't think she's not that most of the monster figures are not figures that you're transporting anyway.
Yeah, they can usually get there themselves, or they're being transported by Carnage.
Right, and you can't transport Carnage or a whale or.
Right. Well, no, that's what I'm saying is that the whale is doing the transporting, or the Carnage is doing the transporting.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, where I do see her fit is on 50-point mystical teams, or even at 65.
Oh yeah.
To carry Al Jordan and some Green Lanterns and Sheriff Stranges and stuff after retirement, because mobility on those barrier teams is pretty limited. But yeah, I can totally see her packing around a Sheriff Strange.
Or two.
Yeah. Or, too bad she can't pack a Tri-Sentinel.
Oh, man.
That would be the best.
Or maybe she packs around some Billy Batsons for a lot of perplex.
Oh, man, that's true. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. So, we got to give a shout out to our girl Dolphin.
Oh man, I love Dolphin at 30 points.
Yeah, Atlantis map, water map, a bunch of these gals. And what was the other thing? Like a Golden Age fun game. What was it? The mermaids from Superman and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. Lori Lamar's. Yeah.
Yeah. What else did she give out something? Did Lori give out something to
the mermaids? She made that's what the whole blowing them up and.
But I thought she just gave out generic stuff.
I don't know if she did. I don't know if she did or not. Like Namor does +1 for the Atlantis characters.
Yeah, no, that's true. Lori specifically was worded on mermaids, not
Atlantis. Yeah,
not Atlantis. But yeah, no, Lori, mermaids. Throw in the Drowned. Throw in Civil War, Namor. Yeah, you got a fun little Atlantis team.
If there was a good WizKids water map, I mean, she'd just be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
You could probably do worse than 9 of her on a team if that was the case.
That's true. Yeah, I like that. Couple a Rusty ID.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. And then Shazam. Of course, got to talk about Shazam.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think his 200-point dial has got a high enough attack to start out with.
Oh, man, he just did awful for you in Sealed, though.
He did. Kind of soured me on him a little bit there.
Yeah.
I mean, the protected, whatever there, be it Outwit, Prob, Pulse Wave is pretty good. That's for 200 points, that 11 attack just doesn't cut it.
Yeah, doesn't cut it for you, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Huh. Yeah, but I mean, him popping out from Billy.
Oh, him popping out from Billy is great.
Yeah, him popping off Billy is great. And, it's a champ piece. It's a $25 rare right now as of this recording. So,
yeah, I need 8 more Shazams.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I only have one Shazam, so I'm just kind of waiting until they drop in price and then snag some up.
Yeah, quit buying them up, people.
Howard was telling me he can't pull them fast enough.
Oh, I'm sure you can't. Right now, they're selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, he wants everybody wants him to sign it and put it on his store and send it out to him. Which I'm like, that's phenomenal. That's
an
awesome.
autographed Howard Brock Shazam sold on eBay today for like $20.
Oh wow!
I'm surprised it didn't go higher.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly worth that for sure. So. So we've hearing a lot about where folks think Prime Black Adam is worth it. I think he certainly looks sweet.
He does look sweet. I've heard people say they play him at 200 points, but
I don't know. I just don't think I see it. I'll just be honest. I'm just what I'm saying. I just don't think I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
With so much swarm going on right now, and so much, most teams that can deal with a swarm are also set up to deal massive single shot damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even his mystics, right? His mystics don't matter. Well, I mean, they do, right? Because you just shoot Black Adam with an ID card character, they take a Mystics, and then you retail on them.
Right.
I think, does Raven have Mystics?
I don't think she has Mystics TA.
She does.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think she does. Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a problem, right, with a retail existing. Now, to be fair, you go shoot this guy, and then you retail on him, and your Retaliator dies, but most likely Black Adam's pretty much dead.
I mean, he has a lot of invincible. He's got 4 straight clicks to start out with at 200 points.
Yeah, but I mean, in that case, you shoot him for 5. He goes to his 100-point line. You retail on him for 3 more, and then shoot him with something else, and that's all doable in a turn.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, he does have super senses, but Cyclops coming out's going to have precision strike.
Yeah, and maybe people just in love with that free roll of d6 and move him up to X squares. And
I like that he destroys blocking that away too.
Yeah. I just don't know that you can't rely on that. That's the problem. Like every time I would roll it, I'd roll like a 1, like
right. And then fail breakaway.
Right. I'd rather just have sidestep traded.
Yeah. Yeah. Ignores blocking and destroys blocking. Sidestep would be great.
But
so
I don't know. Maybe somebody will make it work. George Massey, maybe he'll make it work.
Yeah, George would make it work if anybody could.
Yeah.
So, what else in the rares do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
I didn't have one I really wanted to talk about.
I mean, there's fun stuff. Like Superboy's a good little cheap brick, but he's nothing super, really.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Superwoman would be great if she was like 70 points.
Yeah.
Or 50 points, because then you could just get that protected pulse wave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But not for 125.
Yeah, like just cut off 3 clicks from her and make her like 70 points.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Beast Boy's got a lot of versatility, but his stats are just not high enough.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they just don't have a way to give +1 to their stats, right?
Yeah, if he was like, if he had 11 attack, 18 defense, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's got a lot, his powers, his like animal powers, they're pretty cool. But
yeah, I mean, I think they're fine for casual.
Yeah. I'd play him in Sealed for sure.
Yeah.
Lady Vic's free move would be great if it didn't give her an unavoidable damage.
Oh gosh, I just see that. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, she gets a free move at no cost, which would be freaking, or a range attack, which would be great, but she has to take a damage every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, and there's no really good keywords there to heal her back up either, as far as like a theme team goes.
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Flash, this whole little flurry, phase, and teleport thing's not bad, but...
Yeah, I mean, and then Seal, I just ended up nuking that guy.
Right?
Like, I just shot him, and that was it.
Yeah, because he just has combat reflexes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Batman of China's not. He's not horrible.
Yeah, but he's just not as good as Superman.
It's Superman. No, well, it is Superman.
It is Superman. That is true.
His rocket robot arms of Robin Butt would be great if it was at once per game.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Flight modifies range, make a range attack. Can't use this trait. Ugh. Okay. Well, I guess they just get rid of the. I guess he just gets rid of his rocket arms, huh?
Right. I guess Robin just needs to grow more rocket arms.
Yeah. Come on, Batman. Pull more rocket Robin bots out of your bat belt.
Right. Okay.
So let's see here. Let me keep an eye on our questions here. Let's talk super rares.
Okay. Well, first one that stands out to me, if we're going in order, would be Lex Luthor.
Yeah. But shout out to Black Canary for being there on Rock Age teams as an ID card.
Yeah.
So, and
although there's probably better ones than her, if you're going back to that.
Though not really. Because the other one was more points.
Was it?
Yeah, I think she was 77.
Oh, well, okay.
And as far as like IDing it off of a Quinjet or something like that, yeah, she was 77 with 10 attack, 3 damage. This one has 11 attack, 2 damage.
And Force Blast.
Yeah, and the other one did 2. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean she matches the other one, but with a little bit better attack to start out with. So, and she's got the bombshell trait and that sort of thing. So she can totally multi-target. Let's see, does that work when bombshell makes an attack? Yeah, because they said that she gets multiple bombshell tokens. So,
she does.
So she can multi-target and then get 2 bombshells, then make a close attack. So running shot into adjacency, shoot 2, pulse wave 2 people, maybe knock them back into an adjacent wall, and then punch them again with Force Blast.
Yeah.
So, but that's more of a Rock Age thing. Let's talk about.
I'll never have to worry about that.
Yeah, I won't. I probably won't either at this point. Very, very few of us will, unfortunately. So, Lex Luthor, talk to me about him.
Protected Outwit. Impervious, where he only takes a maximum of 1 damage from the first attack. Leadership and Outwit. I mean, 11 and 4. He still got that 11 attack for 200 points, but I like his defense power. Quite a bit.
Yeah. And like
maybe.
Go ahead.
No. Maybe I'm just soured on the Shazam from the bad time I had with him at Seal, though.
Yeah, but I think here's the thing. It's like, okay, he's great except for the fact that, and I mean, this is just me being quite brutally honest, really, for our listeners about like competitive play. If you have 2 characters on your force with penetrating damage, like you just call out a Cyclops
Right.
and he hits him once, and then somebody else on your team side blasts him off the planet.
Yeah, very well.
So, that's not meant to be down or, downgrade anybody's love of Lex Luthor, because Lex is awesome. But, you hit him for once, then you hit him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's not really doable. He's got a long enough dial, but that's just the reality, right, of having to prep for something like this. Is he could potentially be double tapped, not easily, but it could.
Oh,
happen.
sure,
it could happen. And then we go right into Mr. Oz, right?
Right.
So I think we do get to go ahead and make a clarification from Sudden Death. They had the dials backwards. So at 40 points, he only has his first 2 clicks. And then at 100, he has that mid-dial stop click.
Right.
So he does get his TK power at 40, and this is where I really think he comes into play for competitive.
How big a deal is the TK power?
So I only played it in sealed, and it was irrelevant in sealed, pretty much. But it's not... I think it's going to be a big deal for competitive. Having stealth, TK, and prob on dial by themselves is pretty dang good. And then you throw in the prob with the range value of 12, ignores everything, because he just ignores blocking terrain for it.
Right.
So he's just going through walls. And of course, Superman ally makes him ignore hindering for whatever reason that might matter. And so that's just phenomenal for 40 points. Now, the TK, it does come into play. So it's, you may place that character within 2 squares in line of fire. So if you catch your opponent off guard, there are things like the Bifrost, that if they TK wrong, they can get placed into the Bifrost. You just have to be... It's not overtly powerful, right? Like, we think about things like... I'll just use an old standby here because it's an answer to one of my questions later. One of the questions later. Felix Faust, right? Like, Felix Faust is overtly powerful. But Mr. Oz is a piece that you just can't ignore, right? You can't ignore that ability whenever TK is a big thing. Especially if they're needing that reach to TK out a character. Characters that rely on the old symbiote need to make sure they have a plan to adjust for Mr. Oz. So you're picking sidestep turn 1 with like Uni, or Black Panther has to rethink which symbiote he gets, because I don't think Black Panther has a sidestep click. I'm double checking.
I don't believe he does. I'm pretty sure he does not.
Yeah, I just want to double check. Yeah, he does not have a sidestep click. So if you face a Mr. Oz, you're not getting onto your symbiote turn 1. The old symbiote, that is.
Yeah.
So, there's situations to where maybe you can place it at the corner of the map, but then you're looking at maybe having suboptimal placement. To where maybe you can like TK. It just doesn't matter, right? Because you can just go up and down the map.
Right. If you think about it, people used to play old KC Spectre for 35 for that prob. That was the same thing, basically. Mm-hmm. That's what this guy does.
Yeah.
And we got this TK power plus the stealth. Plus he has a rollout.
Yeah.
Defensively.
And the
hyper 2 click instead of 1.
And I think...
Yeah, hyper time.
Hyper time, right? You just can't ignore the fact that exists either. And from the perspective of like shredders are still a thing for a couple more months. Mm-hmm. and they can just stop him coming in, right? They can just stop Shredders from coming in. It is a roll, but it's a rollout versus Shredders. Like, that's a pretty exciting thing. Or against like a Wolverine coming in and flurrying your team. That's totally a thing that can make a difference. I'm actually looking up the wording on Hypertime here real quick. List of modern age.
I think I've got it right here.
You go for it if you got it.
Yeah. When an opposing character that can't use this team ability attempts to move from a non-adjacent square into a square that is adjacent to this character, it must roll a d6. 1 or 2, the opposing character can't move into any square adjacent to this character this turn. Uncopyable.
Yeah, thank goodness it's uncopyable, right?
Right.
But still, I mean, that can, if you have him placed correctly in stealth, he can't get shot very easily. And then he can just block up a corridor on one of the underground maps or one of the other maps and just stop somebody from coming in and punching the crap out of your team.
Right. I mean, they only get one try at it. They can't just like free sidestep and then miss and then try to do it again.
Yeah. So, there's a lot to do with Mr. Oz, and maybe I think that he's on unthemed, maybe more so than cosmic themed teams or scientist. I think he's just a good play on pretty much any team, because that 12 range, freaking prob, there are a lot of teams that need prob, and he's all up on that. So, do you have any thoughts on Black Mana?
The energy explosion power is cool. I don't know if it's as great as everybody keeps saying it is. But, he makes people adjacent for energy explosion for poison. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't think his keywords are good enough for him to see a ton of play.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Unless, like, pirate theme becomes, like, really awesome.
Yeah, just play multiples of Black Mana.
Yeah.
Is anybody else good
you
right
throw
now? Is anybody else good right
Drowned
now?
has pirate.
Drowned has pirate?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, the list of pirate-themed characters is pretty small. I think there's only 27 currently.
Yeah.
So you get
that Leatherwing is a pirate transporter.
Yeah, Leatherwing is. Then you got the Golden Skull, who has Perplex and Leadership for pirates, and adjacent and friendly characters modify attack +1. And then a lot of the other pirate stuff's retiring, actually. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else that's pirate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can do better with 75 points.
So that leads us to Brian Poling. What is your ideal build using the new super rare Starfire?
I don't know yet.
I think it becomes relevant after July, whenever Starfire can get some of the new Mandy rings. I think Starfire with the ignores hindering pulse wave ring. I think 50 is where it's at. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
Is that it's at 50. Let's see. Let me pull up the new Mandarin rings real quick if I have that available.
So would you play her in multiples?
I've got 3 of them. I'm trying to get 4 of them. I don't know if I'll play 4 of them. But I don't know. I think I'd like to have 4 of them.
Yeah, I could see it. I kind of picture like the cosmic pulse waving Wolverine, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think that's the problem is that she can. Well, I mean, not really the problem. I mean, she can call out Wolverine, but like it comes down to if they had like something Headmaster related, like Perplex, but only for other Teen Titans.
Right.
Yeah. Now give me that.
Yeah, it's like I was sitting there looking at and thinking about this question. I'm like, if she just had like Perplex, like on a theme, how good would that be?
Oh man, that's drooling amounts of a theme of awesome. But yeah, so like the ignore hindering ring goes really good on her, and I think the let's see, what was the other one? I mean, even the stealth ring goes pretty good on her because she can just lay down stealth or lay down smoke cloud for your team. The spectral ring, I actually like that on her. So because she can running shot, pulse wave, use precision strike against like protected pulse wave characters.
Yeah.
And then she can potentially remove an object equipped to that character from the game.
Yeah, that would be nice because like against Black Panther, for instance, she has kind of a problem, but that would help in that matchup a lot.
But then she can at least use the precision strike against Black Panther. So
that's what I say.
She can't use the pulse wave, but she can at least try to get that symbiote off of Black Panther. And she's still pinging him for one, right? And you got a 50-50 chance of removing that. And who knows? She might even be more viable with those new summer WKO rings that we don't know what do yet.
Yeah, I think she's going to be good and maybe get better.
Yeah. And she's one of those things that I think her price is about middle of the road right now.
And she's still going for $20-something.
Yeah, so I think she's one of those things that it's to quote to kind of steal from Alex. I'm going to go ahead and I would say that she's in a sort of buy situation. Now, you probably don't buy 4 like I'm after, but you probably try to trade for 2 of her. And, I think that if she goes up and you decide not to play whatever strategy comes around in July, then just go ahead and get rid of her at above $20. And then if you like the strategy, you already have her whenever she goes up to like $40, whenever the strategy becomes really good. But I don't think she's really that relevant until retirement, or more aptly, the new Mandarin rings become legal.
I want to know what a Battle Kinga tournament is.
All right, I'm gonna go to the Googles.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read about it.
Battle Kinga tournament. That came up with a bunch of video game stuff. Fictional species. I don't know. It's actually a thing of. This can't be right. I mean, it's on the Wikipedia page. I want freaking Wonder Woman's Battle Kangaroo now.
Also, I was gonna say I want to picture like a bunch of like kangaroos boxing each other in like mixed martial arts or something.
You know what though? I mean, I guess that's what it is. Because it says the Kangas, and it's spelt the same way, are a fictional species of kangaroos in the DC multiverse. Kangas were alien beings brought to Paradise Island by a tribe of star-faring Amazon who called themselves the Sky Riders of Nebulosa. The Amazon would ride on Kangas for sport, as using them as well to help with work on the island. And I don't see anything about. I'm gonna let me Google. And I know there's probably people that love Starfire that are laughing at
somebody
us
can
right
tell
now.
us.
Yeah, somebody. I'm gonna go ahead and just Google Starfire with that real quick. Yeah, no, it's still coming up with the Kangas from Amazon, the Amazon Kangas. I,
Okay, Teen Titans fans, time for you to educate us.
you know what? Here it is. Watch out, Amazonian Kanga tournaments. This was in more of a fandom site, but yeah, I mean, if there's battle Kanga tournaments, then I want freaking a wave of angry battling kangaroos that I can talk about in an Australian accent.
Like, what if she hit that stop click and then made a kangaroo pog that had sidestep and flurry? How badass would that have been?
And Battle Fury because it's angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Missed opportunity, WizKids.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
So let's see. What else do we have? Deathstroke with the exo specs.
Do you like that?
That's that. I mean, I'm saying that's what folks are talking about.
I'm not feeling him.
I'm not either. Your 150 point piece can't have an 18 toughness with no super senses or shape change.
Yeah. I mean, that damage power is awesome, but it ain't 150 points awesome.
Right. Yeah. I just think he's outclassed. And another time, maybe he would be better, but he's just outclassed as it is right now. Anything else in this? We've talked about the Prime so far, so I guess we should probably talk about Bizarro and how good Bizarro could have been.
Oh, I just want to.
Oh, go ahead.
Say Flex Mentalo looks really fun to play.
Yeah, but he's another one of those close combat pieces that has energy shield deflection down dial.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's a competitive piece. I'm just saying he looks really fun to play.
Yeah, and he's got a really awesome sculpt. I agree.
Yeah, he does. I want to get him out there on a Doom Patrol team. Sounds hilarious.
Hey, you know what? He is also celebrity.
There you go. Their celebrity team is getting better and better.
I need to stop talking about how good celebrity is so I can go ahead and buy up 5 baby dolls real quick.
That shouldn't be too hard. I don't.
Well, they're still $7-8 a piece. I want a baby doll for $3.
Really, I'd seen them for that much before.
Really? I guess I need to go back and look. I would totally buy up 5 baby dolls for $3 a piece. So.
All right, so Bizarro.
Man, he could have been good. But I would have liked to have seen top dial hypersonic instead of charge. And then his freeze vision's pretty neat, but he's got that top dial battle fury and can't shoot.
With his 3 range.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could at least be perplexed up because it's not 0.
Well, true.
So
I'm not up on this whole Dark Trinity thing either.
No, I'm not either.
Something else to read about.
Maybe we'll get some of those in the future.
Well, they're in the set with Artemis and Red Hood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so those pieces weren't very exciting, so it didn't even really come up on my radar.
Yeah, something I'll have to read about later.
Yeah, I'm sure they replaced the DC Trinity at some point during some crisis or something or another.
I mean, I feel like Bizarro's the worst Prime in this set.
Yeah, and he's a super rare Prime.
Yeah, I didn't pull him. I'm not going to go out and look for him.
Yeah, I managed to trade for him. I definitely wouldn't have paid for him, but I traded for him.
I mean, 5 damage, Battle Fury with 125 points is all right, but yeah.
Yeah, his stats are fine. I have no complaints about his stats. I just don't think it meshes well together.
It's just not something I'm going to go look at to play.
Yeah. So we come into the chases with chases that are all over the place.
Oh man, this is like the hottest thing going.
Yeah, it's like, but their values are all over the place, right? So I think it comes in. Let's just we talk about them all. Let's start with the worst. Devastator, probably the worst.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just because he has doesn't have the lowest point values for one, and he's a big brick.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're talking more competitive here than anything. I think playing 500, 600, 700 point game with all the Dark Knight chases together would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think for this point of the conversation, it's more competitive play.
Yeah, and he gives your opponent's characters like +1 combat values for hitting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
So next, what is the next worst? I'm gonna
Merciless.
Man, and we even got the preview Merciless. I like Merciless for casual play. Like this guy just screams scenario play to me. But unfortunately, I don't think he's competitive. But he screams awesome sculpt, awesome abilities for themed play or casual play or thematic play. Like, play the Merciless, play the old school Ares, play the Marvel Ares together, and just have fun. But competitive play, I think he's down there. What do you think next? Batman Who Laughs?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't know what your opinion.
Yeah, I think so. Again, awesome sculpt. I love things that pop off pogs. But at 175, he's just too much. Too many points, and then at low dial, he's just too squishy. And again, he can just be double tapped, right?
Right. Easier too.
Yeah, it's just too easy to get double tapped. So, because these guys don't have, at least this one doesn't have stealth, right?
Yeah, there's no stealth I see here. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be next? I am thinking
Red Death.
Red Death, yeah. I think there is potential there with Red Death.
Yeah, no, I like Red Death. I just pulled him. I'm not a fan of the speed token thing. I didn't like it back in the Flash set. I don't like it so much now either. But
so let's see. So when he's got also. So when the Red Death hits an opposing character, you may generate a Speedstorm marker in that character's square. Choose a Speedstorm marker and place it into a square adjacent to its current square. Another free action: choose a Speedstorm marker that was not generated this turn and roll a d6 3 through 6. Give that character occupying the chosen marker an action token. So that's good.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, I had rather think, and again, I don't know. Maybe we're just too spoiled, Jason. 10 attack for 100 points, though, for a piece that you plan on wanting to attack.
Right, that's pretty low.
Is just a skosh low. I'd rather see an 11. I'd rather see an 11 for 4.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of falling in line with other speedsters as far as their stats, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think if it was 11-4 at 100, I'd be a lot happier with that. Yeah, and I'd almost rather have Super Senses top dial instead of Impervious.
Yeah, I would too. Mm-hmm. And he does ignore hindering terrain, which that's good, and he has the Reckless Disregard for life, and we will not hide in the shadows like all the rest.
Yeah, so I mean, he can get a pretty good defense value.
Yeah.
But I just think there's too much penetrating damage. I'd rather have top dial Super Senses.
Yeah, I definitely would too. Impervious is just a liability these days, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, until Cyclops goes away.
Yeah, we're gonna hear that.
Yep, for sure. All right, you go ahead and say your next one, and I'll see if I agree with you or not.
I'm gonna say the Drowned.
Yeah. Until we get a good now for rock events, I think the Drowned is one.
Yeah.
I think for rock events, the Drowned's one notch higher than she is right now. But for WizKids events, I would agree with this assessment until we get a really good WizKids water map.
Water map. Yeah.
I like the 75 point dial, charge, poison, super senses, all
11 attack.
11 attack, super. I like all that stuff. All in dolphin symbol. All of these things make me happy. But giving the stealth and stuff to water characters, you got to have a good map to go with it.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get that soon. Who knows? But
yeah.
We've had great WizKids water maps in the past.
Yeah. Make water great again.
Let's bring out that Pack Ocean.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I want to go ahead and let you say your next one too, because I'm just curious how much we agree.
Okay, my next one, I want to say the Dawnbreaker.
So you're thinking Dawnbreaker is worse than Murder Machine?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Murder Machine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, they're close. They're close, but I'm pretty stoked about Murder Machine.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, again, it's one of those things that Dawnbreaker probably gets a little bit higher because there's more pogs than there is water map for the Drowned.
Yeah. But like it's probably better later on when people are not playing Hawkeye and there's more pogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you're playing the Iron Man team, you don't want to run up against this guy.
Yeah, because then it's...
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, here's your monster transporter, like we were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stoked to get like a walking wood with +1 combat values for this guy.
Yeah, what does that make him? 11 for 4?
Like a 11 for 4, yeah. Like a 19 defense.
It's 18.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're 17.
Yeah, they're not 18 to start. Yeah, they're 17 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And he has traded barrier too, which is nice.
Yeah, and that's really good for the monster team. Actually, it's just having barrier on dial.
Yeah, and starting with the Invincible.
Yeah. Yeah, the traded barrier is going to be good against the Flappy Bird friend. So that makes Murder Machine number 2.
Yeah, that'd be my number 2.
Yeah, I don't know what else is to say here that we haven't really kind of already talked about on online quite a bit. Robot keyword, energy explosion, stack up, shooty traits things.
Yeah, I mean you can get full map reach on him pretty much. Fairly easy, I think, with some perplex.
And he has prob and shape change.
Yeah, and he pairs well with Isaac.
Yeah, 100%. So, if he's allowed to get off, then he destroys a whole team for sure. And he destroys blocking for targeting. So, there's not a lot of hiding from old dude either.
Yeah, you can't barrier away from him really.
Not
unless you're if you're double deep in it, sure, but
but that's not easy to do.
No. Yeah, I really like this guy.
So that would leave us with Barbatos.
Yeah, Barbatos. I don't know how you say his name.
Yeah, Barbados.
Yeah, most people aren't even spelling it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You know what? I just realized that he has 8 range.
Yeah.
And ignores hindering terrain for targeting.
Yes.
Okay, this guy is ridiculous. Never mind. I thought he was cool, and I thought he was the number 1 chase for sure. but I just now, as of this very moment, realized he had 8 range, ignores hindering.
Yeah, like all the ones that have range, all the chases that have range ignore hindering actually.
No, okay.
Except a murder machine.
Right, but he goes through blocking, so
right, he goes through blocking instead.
He makes up for that. So, yeah, I mean, wow, yeah, this guy's way better. So let's start out with what I think is awesome. So, his damage power. Opposing characters within 6 squares that can use Outwit, Perplex, or Support can use Battle Fury. So,
this guy single-handedly shuts down 275 Unimind.
Well, they can still outrange him. But yeah, so let's talk about the damage power first. I think the movement power shuts things down. But let's talk about the damage power.
Yeah.
He just potentially shuts down Jean, Cyclops, ID cards. And then, because Jean uses Outwit, the Headmaster Cyclops use Perplex. And that just means they can't shoot. Now, for things like Wolverine, that might make him a little bit better depending on the rest of your team.
Yeah.
And you're not really calling out anybody that has support. But you're right. So he friendly characters with and I think the trait is what I want to talk about next. Before I'm making you hold your I'm making you hold that movement power until the end. So friendly characters with the monster keyword can use the Batman enemy team ability. So again, this comes down to something that's positional, but everybody sharing the 12 attack from Surtur. Yeah, let's get in on that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's get in on that. It's probably not better than Mini till he retires, but after that, I love the positional. I love that some of these things make you work for it, and I'm loving the work that's going to have to come out of some of these things. But I mean, there's just other great things that are before retirement, like I don't know. There's some other great monsters with good attack values. I had some in mind, but I closed my screen. Which one was I thinking? But I mean, anything with an 11, right? I mean, anything that'll give Whales an 11.
But Carnage is an 11, right?
Carnage is an 11, and that's less situational for certain monster teams. Whales Quaking with an 11 or a 12, with a Captain Venom upping that again if he attacks first. Not only is Barbatos, shutting down ID cards and doing all kinds of stuff, I mean, he's also freaking helping your monsters attack better. Can you imagine Groot coming over, retallying or something like that? We get somebody with an 11 attack and then using his +1s to make it a 12.
Or 13 maybe even.
Yeah, 13 if there's a Surtur involved. I love the positional abilities of Barbatos and the Batman enemy team ability. Or even before retirement, if you played Venom Hulk at 100 with Barbatos at 100. Maybe that's a little too many points, but still, sharing Venom Hulk's 12 attack. I'm just hoping we get to see some folks fully flesh out Barbatos before retirement.
I mean, some of his stats are we were just kind of poo-pooing on these same stats, but 10 attack, 3 damage, and then the impervious to start out.
Yeah, but these characters also didn't have 8 range, ignores hindering.
Yeah, and stealth.
Yeah, exactly.
On this guy.
And quintessence.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And these 10 attack, 3 damage characters didn't have penetrating psychic blast either.
No.
So, yeah, I mean the stats are what they are, and I will let me just go ahead and say, and I officially poo-poo on 10 for 3, but I mean whenever the other stats around it are that much better, I think I'm okay with that. Yeah,
I know. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to be fair.
Don't want to be called. Don't want to be say we're hypocritical. All right, let's talk to me about the movement power, Jason.
All right, drag you into the dark multiverse. So it grants him phasing teleport, and can also use phasing teleport as free, but only to move 4 squares, and when he does, after resolutions, adjacent opposing characters have immobile until your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll say you phase up and are able to get adjacent to Unimind there and giving him immobile. And then what if you had a Carnage there that could sidestep you back out from range from him there?
Yeah.
And he's got Battle Fury.
Right, yeah, I mean...
And he's stuck.
Yeah, I mean, only if Unimind drops Power Cosmic, right? Would he gain Battle Fury. But then you're stuck with an 11 for 4 Uni. Which, he can probably snipe stuff. But then, then he would have to drop Power Cosmic to up his defense. And, he could miss. There's more of a likely chance that, albeit small, there's more of a likely chance that he misses with an 11 than he does a 13. Yeah, I like it. And it doesn't have to be line of fire either. It's just within 6 squares. He gains the Battle Fury. So he can hide behind a Carnage. He can hide behind a Whale after he's moved through something and made it immobile.
That's a pretty great power, I think.
Yeah. And the thing is the other thing is that when he gets attacked, he's got Still Energy and make any number of close attacks, each targeting a different opposing character, and he will heal for each hit. So he's also prepped for the Swarm team. If he takes a pretty good hit, he could heal back from bottom click to top click.
Yeah, he goes 12 and 5 on that last click there with Outwit.
Yeah, and he's a giant. So he's got Giant Reach 2 to start murdering things. So I don't dislike it at all. So Jason, you were talking about the Fast Forces figures and how you kind of dug some of those.
Yeah, I like some of the 50-point dials on some of these Fast Forces in the Fast Forces set here. it's nothing like super. There's no giant girl from AI Fast Forces or anything like that.
Right.
But you got Aquaman for a 50-point ruler team. He gives you Perplex and Leadership. Cyborg is giving you a 50-point Perplex piece for robots.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I was looking at those. Superman there, remember mystical teams, not horrible at 50 points. 10 attack, 3 damage. Quake charge. Possibly can get +1 to his attack and damage.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman for Deity, keyword there. She's 11 attack, 3 damage with close combat expert. She takes a maximum of 1 damage from range attacks.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah, that's pretty good. And and these all have Justice League too, obviously.
Sure.
And Aquaman has Atlantis. So, I just like some of those. They're just standard powers pretty much, but they're solid for what they do.
Yeah, I like it. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, Flash is like an 18 super sense of shape change for 50 points for a tie-up piece, maybe.
Yeah. I dig it. I dig
Yeah.
it. So let's talk about Mr. Terrific. So
A lot of hype for Mr. Terrific.
a lot of, I think, unwarranted hype. So James Peters asked us, do you think Mr. Terrific will seek actual competitive play or not, the OP version? And I can say, I hope he doesn't. Because 12 attack, 4 damage on, again, Cyclops is a thing, and that one-shots Mr. Terrific. The rule of 3 becomes the rule of 1, but I mean, if he had, like, I don't know, like if he had a stop click, or if he had shape change, or if he had super senses, or
Anything but toughness, right? Like,
anything but
you know,
toughness,
just a reducer.
anything that just can't be penetrated, you know, or pulse waved, or flurried, right? I mean, there's just, you know, and you can perplex him down too, right? If you have a bunch of perplexes on your team, you can lower him down pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, he gets positively or negatively by more than one, but
Yeah.
I think people are just like, well, okay, Unimine's not going to be able to, like, +3 his defense, right? Or you're not going to get like 20 defense from range, 21 defense range in those Sentinel, Tri-Sentinels.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you can't pump your own guys up either.
Yeah.
Because that's fair play.
Right. Yeah. So like, if I think about, like, Nighthawk Prime was not fair play, and
No.
Essentially, you have to have unfair play for a piece to be competitively good.
Yeah, if he didn't affect your own characters, he'd be a lot nicer.
Yeah.
I mean, he still dies easy, but so does a lot of stuff. But yeah, if he didn't affect your own guys, I'd like him a lot more.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let's talk about fair play. Let's talk about Vulture. So
It's a Vulture.
Abel, I think it's Abel, sorry. Abel Alvarado Jr. is Vulture bad for the meta? Simple yes or no, Jason. Is Vulture bad for the meta?
Vulture is probably just as bad as Hawkeye. Maybe. Unless, at least right now, he is. Unless people can just come up with a way to counter him better. He's pretty... People are maybe just getting caught off guard with him right now, maybe, right?
Right.
I don't know.
So the answer is Vulture bad for the meta? No.
I think Vulture's just going to force people to change to something else.
Right. So
which is maybe good for the meta.
It is. That is good for the meta, right? We've had literally the same thing since, I don't know, before Rock Cup, basically. Or the same thing since Nationals last year. I mean, it's pretty much Hawkeye, Whales, Unimind, full Uni, full Goblin...
Black Panther.
Yeah, full Goblin King, full Black Panther... I mean, these full things, right, that are just hard to kill. And you've got this new guy, right? So I think Vulture is absolutely terrific for the meta because he is changing things up. And, you know, I don't know, did you see what Mike Nito posted about, Jason?
No, I did not.
So, I don't necessarily agree with everything Mike posts from the Alpha Strike, but, he made a very good post of why Vulture was not that bad. And he's just not. He makes you change your team other than... It's finally something that says playing a bunch of Colossal Retaliators is not... You've got to be worried about playing a bunch of Colossal Retaliators. I think it's really great for... I'm going to say this. It's really great for the common player that wants to play competitive. in that it's a common prime or an uncommon prime with a super rare that's relatively easy to get. Perplex and Prob and TK are all relatively cheap to get. And you can say that I can play competitively with a cheap enough team and do well. That makes people adjust, right? Just because I can go out and buy a Surtur and a Mini Shredder, or I can buy a Star Fox and a Hawkeye and an Exospecs, and I can do really well. I think it comes into you can have a relatively cheap team, right? Because you're talking about Mr. Oz is 20 points, and let's just say $50 for the Uncommon Prime Octopus Arms combo, and you throw on an Al Jordan for $15 and Big Tony's for 15 cents a piece, and you've got a pretty good team. You don't even have to use ID cards if you can't afford them money-wise. And you got a really effective team.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, don't get me wrong, he can one-turn teams.
Right.
I mean,
but only if your team is allowable, only if your team is able to be one-turned. It's the same thing with Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
You know, and...
he presents a lot of the same problems Hawkeye presents.
Right. But he's a little bit worse than Hawkeye because he can miss and keep going.
Yeah.
Yes. He can get a little bit better stats than Hawkeye. He can get like one more damage, and a little bit further movement, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he can get full board reach.
Yeah, I mean, so can Hawkeye. So
yeah.
It comes back down to makes you think about more fundamental team building. Impervious, super senses, not playing with the 10 Colossal Retaliators. That's not a bad thing. I don't have any qualms with that.
No, I don't either. I mean, he's not going to be on a theme team.
Yeah, hey, watch out for that Magia theme team.
Yeah, until Magia gets like a lot of TK piece, and I don't know if Big Tony have Magia? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that's a DC and a Marvel thing there.
So until there's a bunch of cheap Magia Perplex, right?
Sure. Or Brute suddenly becomes really good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not like just makes things unplayable that are just gonna, he's not like X-Men have the same problem with him as they have with Hawkeye.
Right. Yeah.
He presents those problems still, but
here's the same thing so we posted our video on how to play X-Men Blackbird right now around Hawkeye, and what kind of tweaks you have to make to the Blackbird team to be able to play X-Men right now. And it comes into the same thing. X-Men's still great against Vulture. You just have to make some tweaks to the team that don't necessarily make the team any less effective against other teams. I think that's what comes in to be really important, is that you can't make tweaks to the team that make you weak to other teams. And I think the big one is the theme teams can just steal his Ock arms.
Yeah. I think I've already seen, barrier teams are becoming
I played
better, more popular.
I played the barrier team. We know our last class was how to do barrier, how to play better barrier. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, if your team can TK out and call out Gene with enough Perplex, there are plenty of maps. If you play a terrain, they get one of the start car, the Doom Buggy, that gets placed after characters. There are maps where you can just straight up steal his object. Pretty freaking straightforward.
Via telekinesis.
Via telekinesis, right. So you have to be able to TK out a piece, call out a TK, and then perplex up that TKer's range to a 10 or an 11, and then you can steal the object. Like I'm just looking through some maps. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of those maps. The Skull Camp is one. Now you have to keep in mind that you could either that or you can make them place it to where it's not favorable for them to be able to pick it up turn one either. Like the Skull Camp with a terrain on it can block the Power Woman, because that's the other thing is that they play Power Woman to block line of fire to the objects. Well, if you play a terrain, you can place it either behind the Power Woman or in front of her, beside her, to keep her from to open up those line of fires back, or to stop the object placement. Now, keep in mind these WizKids rules could change at some point or get clarified, whatever. This is as of 4/21/19. But I'm just taking a look through the maps because I wanted to talk about the maps a little bit. The new what was the other one? So if you're playing a rock event, for sure, Strange Day at the Park, completely open. You don't even have to have a terrain for that one. And the let's see, there was one other one, and of course, like your standard Amok Time. Amok Time does require a terrain if they're playing Power Woman. Now it comes into a situation where they can play Power Woman, and you can, so it's not 100%, but it's kind of this arms race, right? But if your theme team is most likely going to win map, then you should be okay. Same thing with there's definitely good lines on the roller derby if you play a terrain. Sorry, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I just wanted to talk about these maps.
No, this is good. I haven't been able to look at all these, so
yeah. But keep in mind, it requires you to play the terrain. That's the big thing. But I mean, a lot of teams play terrain or have 5 points to play the terrain anyways. So I don't think.
So is there a certain terrain, or does it matter?
No, it's gotta be the Stark car,
Visible Jet, or
Stark car or the Doom Buggy, because they say they're placed before objects. So they go against.
Oh, because we have different wording on those versus on the newer stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to get changed to all of them being blanketed that way, though.
Yeah, I mean,
don't you think?
You should. It should be.
But as of right now.
No. ADW Wakanda is the other one I was thinking of. And some of these maps are rotating out or just don't make a good deal for it. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on why Vulture is fine. It causes, and the main thing is it causes a change to the meta, which we needed.
Yeah, we're not saying that Vulture's not good. Don't be prepared for Vulture, because Vulture will ruin your day.
Yeah, no, absolutely be prepared.
For sure.
Absolutely be prepared for Vulture, right? I'm not saying, I'm absolutely saying that. Be prepared for Vulture. And if that means you have to take away all of your Colossal Retaliators, well, okay, maybe it's time to try something else, But, and we say that, right, and we'll probably get some flack from different people on saying that. I mean, Vulture's probably going to get errated. If enough people complain...
He very well could.
If enough people complain and he does well enough, the thing is that Vulture is going to have to do well enough at a big event.
At Nationals is going to be a litmus test.
Yeah. So, I was thinking, man, if I, could win the lottery between now and Nationals, I'll put a bounty out for somebody to win with Vulture. But haven't been successful in winning the lottery yet, so no bounty for winning with Vulture. I mean, and you know, I've seen the team lose. I've seen Vulture lose to Hawkeye. I've seen Vulture lose to Unimind. And you know, so either the Vulture team has to have more time to develop, or you know, that's just as good as it gets. I mean, it also won quite a few states, but I just don't think people were prepped for it. So, I mean, Barrier's fine against it. Uni Lockjaw doesn't have much of a problem. I don't think Hawkeye has much of a problem against it. But you have to be prepped for the matchup.
So if Barrier becomes really prevalent against it, do you see like tech like Kirk and Uhura come onto that team to counter that?
I mean, it depends, right? I think it's more of, does Vulture become a big issue after retirement, after like the Joker's Wild, Green Lanterns go away.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to me, and my thought process there. So we've got some other questions other than just talking about our Flappy Bird friend. Let's see. First one, Zach Strong writes, at our local venue, and thanks, Zach, for being our first Patreon, and congrats on winning this month's giveaway. At our local venue, we have been trying to come up with a format for Reverse Modern Age, for lack of a better name. Basically, from X set forward is illegal. This is to allow people to play old stuff without getting crushed by new stuff. What do you think this set is the perfect cutoff? Right now, we are thinking TMNT1.
Like, what kind of old stuff are you talking about?
Well, I think it comes
That's
down...
my question.
Yeah, so I think...
There's plenty of old stuff older than TMNT1. That was really good.
Right. So I think it comes down to... Some of that stuff is hard to get accessible. Like, really old stuff. Like, I think if it was me, like, I think if you did just pre-carded night, like, everything with the old school bases, like, it'd be fun to give those out, right? If you have a player base that has a bunch of that old stuff, or if your store has a bucket of old clicks to go around that everybody can get to, I don't know, maybe do a pre-carded night.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to, like, TMNT1... What's stopping somebody from playing like batteries and processors and night crawlers and
I mean, there's a bunch of
stuff
old,
like that.
A bunch of old stuff that's just as much janky than anything else,
or more so janky than what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Like, I think if I was to do a cutoff, you're probably talking like Slosh and older.
Yeah. Back through there sounds pretty good. Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. All of that sounds pretty good. I mean, because there wasn't anything incredibly janky in Wolverine and the X-Men, other than like Phantom X.
Phantom X, yeah.
But then again, you still got like Wolverine
or
and
team bases.
Yeah, you got team bases then, and you still got Hammers and the Phoenix Force, and I mean, if you're playing just characters only, like, probably Slosh and older's fine. Like
pre-Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Or you just ban resources or whatever.
Yeah, if you're just banning resources and team bases, I'd say Slosh. Because if you start talking about you start incorporating in, like, Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy, you got the zombie chases that were ridiculous. If you start incorporating in, like, Avengers Assemble, you got Justin Seifert, that's just ridiculous. Or drones, or Chase Magneto.
Oh, yeah, Ultron drones, yeah.
And even some of this, like, Golden Age stuff, like Arwen no longer, like, epic actions and all this other stuff. So I don't really know if there's, like, a cut-off as much as probably Slosh and older, and just have a strict kind of ban list if you're just wanting to have characters only sort of situation. Hey, that Shazam that sold was won by David Stockman. He just posted in our group that
oh, nice.
he won that auction. So congratulations, David. Christian Bojan writes in, what were your favorite teams to win states?
Yeah, I haven't got to look at the list of all of them yet.
Since I compiled the list, I don't know, my favorite team is always like those a little bit smaller states that have some just crazy stuff being played. But that was only really valid for past years. Pretty much all of the states had kind of like the staple stuff win this year. I can't think of anything that really stuck out to me, just to be honest. I would say
maybe Nate's Grandmaster Mangog team.
Yeah, and if I had to go with somebody I didn't know, like the Florida winner, who won with 175 Odin with the octopus arms and Sheriff Strange.
That sounds cool.
Or like Matt Hubble up in Maine won with Witch Queen LaFay and Isaac. But you know, we had a lot of cool folks and a lot of cool teams win. But those are a couple of my favorites. I love that there was 3 or 4 Venomverse monster teams to win.
Nice.
Yeah, I love those guys that are calling over them Hulks and that kind of stuff. Nick Haberman writes in, where do babies come from?
Well, Nick, I'll probably talk about that in private.
Yeah, yeah. Might need to talk to your mom or dad about that one, buddy.
Yeah.
David Newmark, we kind of talked about Murder Machine already. Sammy and Bruce says, nothing viable for modern. I strongly disagree with that.
Yep.
Robots make him really good. Skeets has robots. You know, even Raven.
Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. Lots of good stuff to build around him. Victor Mueller says, following. Well, cool. Thanks, man. Joe Gutierrez, another one of our patrons. Thanks, Joe. Are any of the Rebirth chases really that good in 300 Modern? Even the best of them seem a little overcosted for the format. I don't think so. We kind of talked about those guys.
I think the 100-point dials are where it's at.
Yeah. Nathan Deal writes in, what do you want most out of the Panther set? I'm hoping for a really good Avengers leadership and Perplex piece. That'd be cool. Somebody to replace Old Man Cap.
A really good Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. So Nathan, I would say my want is the whole thing to be great. Like I want like another Mighty Thor set.
Oh man!
Like there's not a piece that you could poo-poo on really. Like I don't think there was a piece that you could poo-poo on in the Mighty Thor. And Brian Poland, we answered his question, but thank you, Brian, for being one of our patrons. Matthew DePaz, we talked about Murder Machine. I think he definitely has a place later on. Nick Haberman writes in with a second question. In a breakdance battle, do you think your podcast crew could take on the crew of Critical Clicks?
Yes, and we'll win.
Yeah, absolutely.
You haven't seen my sick moves, man.
Yep, absolutely. Although Scott's, he's pretty theatrical, so I don't think PJ's limber enough to do good breakdance moves.
The beer could get in the way, right?
Yeah. Alex Coos writes in honor of the Easter season, what figure would you wish would rise from rotation and become modern again?
I wish Green Lantern from Joker's Wild would rise again after the 1st of July.
Yeah. Oh, and this was my answer. Pre-errata Felix Faust. Okay, thanks. Because obviously if Vulture can't make close attacks from across the board, then he is no longer a problem. Right?
Yeah, definitely true. That's true.
Right? You can't complain about Vulture if he can't move more than 3 squares either.
Yeah.
Or if Vulture doesn't have his combat values increased, he's probably okay. So, or if whatever.
All good points.
Yep. So, you guys are going to be missing. You guys are missing Faust. You just don't know it yet. Justin Nichols writes in, when the modern list rotates in July, do you think the Drown will be a good substitute for many on Wales teams or for Atlantis theme team instead of Monster? If we get a good map. We kind of talked about that. We answered Abel's question. And Brandon Chasteen writes in light of Game of Thrones, name a figure that symbolizes each house well.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I don't either. We're waiting for it to all come out on DVD and then binge watch it.
Yeah, because I'm not paying for HBO.
Yeah, and unlike our absentee co-host,
David could have answered this question.
Yeah, David could have answered this question, but he also says that people shouldn't brag about not watching Game of Thrones. So I would only say that we said that, Dave, because Brandon asked.
Yeah, I'm not bragging. I'm just giving information.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys. I do plan on watching it just after it's all over with. So, all right. Final thoughts, Jason.
Mangog.
I like that. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, it hasn't been said in a while. So
yeah, it hasn't been said in a while. I'm with you. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening to Click Stuff, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.